Visiting it today. Protests against Canada's vaccine mandates and strict restrictions have expanded beyond the capital, Ottawa, disrupting traffic in cities from Vancouver to Quebec City. In Ottawa, hundreds of trucks, they remain in the downtown area in what the Ottawa Police Chief described as a siege. The protesters had raised more than $10 million on the website GoFundMe. The website subsequently said the money would be seized and handed over to charities of their choosing after the Canadian government claimed the protesters were dangerous. Well, GoFundMe, as you probably now know, subsequently backtracked with some rapidity, promising to return the money. Should it ever be up to big tech firms in California and elsewhere to work with government and decide what protest groups get funding? The Canadian journalist Andrew Lawton joins me again. Andrew, welcome to you. Before we get into how big tech and crowdfunding works or doesn't work in the case of GoFundMe, I think we can agree on that. What is the situation now in Ottawa? How many people are there? How long do we think they're likely to stay there?
The how long question is the question no one has the answer to. We do know there are still hundreds of trucks and even more people, but the Ottawa Police, starting this weekend, have taken a dramatically different approach. They've started to seize thousands of liters of diesel that's been brought in to keep these truckers running, which they need, of course, to keep themselves warm. They've said that they're going to arrest anyone who brings, quote, material support, unquote. That could be fuel. It could also be food. But when the Ottawa Police Chief calls it a siege, it doesn't quite align with the photos you see of children playing on bouncy castles, of people singing, of worship services. So there are very much two dueling narratives at play here. But law enforcement has very much ramped up its efforts in the last 24 hours and still as we speak.
Andrew, is it possible to talk about the level of public support for the truckers? Can we point to poll evidence that suggests the Canadian public's behind them or against them? What do you know?
Certainly when the convoy was on its way to Ottawa, we were seeing a large base of support that was growing by the day. There have been a couple of people that you've seen that now that they've stayed in Ottawa and the protest has continued and the honking has continued, a couple of people have said, okay, you made your point, you need to go home. But generally speaking, I'm still seeing outside of the downtown Ottawa bubble a tremendous amount of support here. Haven't seen any recent polling that could put a scientific measurement to it. But what I do know is that the government is declining in the confidence that the public is holding in it. The police are looking worse by the day, because even among those who don't like the protest, they're seeing no action by the government to deal with it. So there is this state of limbo that's at play right now. But I do think the support has been held.
Lawton, good to talk to you as ever and appreciate your time. Thanks very much indeed.